Wonderful. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today, tonight, wherever you are in the world. We are so excited at Brandeis University to be hosting a How to Write the College Essay webinar to help support you through the application process. My name is Stephanie Gallery. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at the Brandeis Admissions Office and really excited to have you all here tonight. I did mention this is the second in our how-to series. So if you didn't catch us on Tuesday evening, we hosted a how to write about your extracurricular activities. If you're interested in watching that webinar, it will be available on the Brandeis Admissions website next week. We also have upcoming how-tos, so keep an eye on your email, check our website. There is much more to come so we can help support you through this process. I should say a couple of quick housekeeping notes. We do have a Q&A feature below. If you're familiar with Zoom, you're familiar with the Q&A. That's a great place to be asking questions. Not only am I on this webinar, but several of my fantastic colleagues in the admissions office are here to help support you and answer any questions you have. I will spend a good amount of time at the end answering questions too. I'll try to answer some of the more general questions versus very essay specific, and we'll get to as many as we can in the time that we have tonight. So to kick things off, we always like to talk a bit about the anatomy of an application. So we see every piece of your application as being an opportunity to complement each other. So as we look through here, you'll see we've got your academic achievements and your transcript. How have you performed academically? Of course, colleges want to know that you will be successful in the classroom on our campuses. You'll see the school report and letters of recommendation. Those are two documents that are submitted from your high school. Your school report is telling us a bit about what's offered at your high school, how many students, things of that nature, while your letters of recommendation are coming from typically teachers of core academic subjects and your school counselor. Extracurricular list is going to be telling us all the things you're involved in, both in the classroom as well as outside of your high school, like family responsibilities and part-time jobs. Your mid-year report is really a snapshot in time as to how you're performing halfway through your senior year. Your essay, what we'll be talking about tonight, and then testing. Test scores, if submitted. Many colleges and universities have moved to a test optional landscape. Brandeis University has been test optional for over a decade. So these are the different components of the application. And again, tonight we'll be really focusing in on that essay. Now, as we think about the college essay, it's important to think about how many applications colleges and universities are receiving. Some universities are receiving thousands of applications each year, and we want you to remain authentic to you, your voice, your story, and not think so much about pleasing the things you think we want to hear. So within your application, think about your fit to our campus community. What about Brandeis, for example, really excites you? Writing in your own voice, and we'll talk a lot about that in a moment, and showing us that you've done your research, that you're familiar with Brandeis, with whatever school or university you are excited about will be a big piece of this. Now, the purpose of the college essay is really to help us determine a couple of different factors. The first is what makes the student unique, what makes the student stand out, with the note that you don't have to always think about, oh my goodness, like I need to stand out among thousands of people, but what parts of you and your values maybe make us think, oh, this student could be a good fit for our campus community. Are your writing skills sufficient for college level work? We'll talk a lot about what we're looking for in that aspect in a moment. And then what might the student contribute to our campus community? Brandeis and many colleges are likely looking for that residential impact an applicant may have. So yes, you'll be in classrooms with your peers, studying in the library, but it's much more of that residential college experience. How will you engage with students in clubs? Are you the type of student that helps someone who's struggling? We want to see how you might enrich our communities. So as we get really into the nitty-gritty do's and don'ts, we'll spend a good amount of time here. In the do's, we'll start with be brief. So within the common application, coalition application, or whatever school or university specific application is available to you, you'll see that the essay has a specific word limit. You cannot go beyond that. I've been in admissions for over a decade now. I have had several instances where We get the common application, I read through the essay, it bluntly stops, and then I receive an email with the rest of the word count. So please stay within the word limit that is provided to you. Run-on sentences can really prevent clarity. So it's important to think about how long you're going on for. Throw in that period, it is okay to do. And some of the best essays really do address something specific. You don't need to take on a huge subject with a limited amount of space. Think about it like a book. Don't try to write an entire book or anthology. We want to hear a chapter of your story. Writing in your own voice is also a big piece of this. So your essay should be easily recognizable to anyone that knows you well. In my information sessions at Brandeis, I like to say, if you write your paper and you put it on the floor without your name on it, your best friend should be able to pick out which one is yours if there are multiple papers on the floor. So how does it read to you? Does it sound like you? This is a great place to mention sarcasm can be really hard to relay in a college essay. If you're not funny, your college essay might not be the best time to practice your comedy skit. So we want you to be using your own voice. Finding your thread is also a really big piece of the essay. So I have read several essays through writing workshops where I get to that conclusion paragraph and I finally see what the student is wanting to share with me, but I can't find that common thread. So as you're writing in your essay, think about, what do I want the reader to know? What do I want them to learn about me? And then as you read through your essay, are you finding threads of that throughout the different paragraphs that you're writing? If you start to lose your train of thought or you pivot to another story that's not necessarily relevant to that core message you're looking to send us, it might be time to go back and reevaluate. Proofreading, as someone with an English degree, please proofread your essay and don't just read it over in your head. My biggest tip for proofreading is you have to read it out loud. You will catch significantly more errors within your essay, specifically with that run-on sentence and thinking about clarity, if you read your essay out loud. So take some time, print it. If you have a printer, go to a library and print it. Get a pencil and sit down and read through your essay. Think about that line in the middle, that thread, that message you're trying to share with us. It'll just help your essay be more refined and also show the admissions offices that, yes, you are ready for college level writing. As we pivot to some of the don'ts, it's important to not think about what we want to hear. We read, yes, thousands of essays, but be specific and true to your own story. Yes, we receive a lot of essays of the challenges after you tore your ACL, and that is really hard to overcome. That doesn't mean you shouldn't write about it because it's something that is meaningful to you and your story. Please still do so. There really is no one thing we want to hear other than, again, a chapter of your own story. Receiving too much feedback is a common trap that students will fall into. It is very easy for admissions counselors to tell if an essay has been heavily edited and it's not really written by a high school senior anymore, but it's written by more of a professional. So it is wonderful that you have your friends, family members, your school counselor, your English teacher acquaintances, your aunt who writes books for a living wanting to read your college essay. But the more edits you have, the farther away from your voice your essay becomes. Writing fully about someone else, and I italic the word fully for a reason here. So let's get into this piece. It is easy also to fall into the trap of writing about somebody else. Now, if you go back to you in the end and you're weaving in that thread, again, of what you want us to learn, we'll get back to where we need to be in your essay. What we want to avoid is you write an incredible essay about your grandma, how much you love her, how great she is, what you remember about her, how you used to bake cookies together. And at the end of reading that essay, I'm hungry and I haven't learned a lot about you. So it's important to tie it back to you. Maybe your grandmother inspired your love of cooking, and cooking is a way that you decompress after a stressful day. Make sure you're thinking about closing that circle and putting a bow on your essay. What do you want us to learn? Plagiarizing is pretty straightforward. You should not be taking essays or direct quotes from anything, especially copying and pasting essays from the internet. Please do not plagiarize. And artificial intelligence is an incredible tool. It can do amazing things. It can also hurt. So AI is wonderful for things like brainstorming. Maybe you have a variety of ideas and you want to brainstorm and see what comes out. You're welcome to do that. But having an artificial intelligence tool write your college essay or edit your college essay is really easy for us to catch. The Brandeis admissions office has actually seen what artificial intelligence essays look like. We all are able to catch them. So please don't rely on AI for writing your essay. Again, brainstorming is entirely up to you and it can be a useful tool, but you want to really focus in on your voice and your writing skills because that's how you're going to be successful on our colleges. Now, within these do's and don'ts, it's important to stress again that you can talk about a common topic, but it has to be about you, and don't feel pressured to share a challenging or traumatic experience with colleges. If you do share a challenge or something you've overcome, it's okay if the ending is just that you worked through it. It doesn't need to be that amazing storybook ending, but you don't have to share anything challenging or traumatic in your life through your college essay unless you would like to. So those are a bit of the do's and don'ts. Now, another big component of applying to colleges might be supplemental essays. Now, not every school will require these supplements. However, some will require 1, 2, 3, or more, depending on the university. Brandeis, for example, we have one required supplemental essay in additional for students who are international candidates. So these supplemental essays are in addition to your personal statement, they are school specific. Typically, they're between 250 to 500 words. A very popular one that you might have heard is the why us question, the why Brandeis, why insert school here. And being too general and doing your research, again, that application authenticity, show that you have worked to get to learn about our college and why you're applying is really important. If a student were to write, I love Brandeis University because of the vibrant community and its proximity to Boston. If you were to cover the word Brandeis, that could likely be about many schools in the greater Boston area that have a wonderful community and are close to Boston. So think about majors and minors, clubs, the faculty that teach there in the departments you're excited about, what traditions maybe you found or heard about during your campus visit. Think about how you'll benefit from our campus and how you'll impact our community. We want to know, again, how you will be and act as a peer in the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. At the Brandeis admissions office, we have an incredible team of 40 student fellows that work with us. And I always think as I'm reading applications, oh, this student sounds like an incredible friend. So we want to know more about you through these supplemental essays. Focus on the question and make sure you're responding to that question appropriately. Wonderful. So as we move on, I want to spend a good amount of time talking to you all in the audience and answering your questions. So I'm going to open up the Q&A now. It looks like we have a question. What is your perception of an essay with more of a satirical approach, similar to the above? Would it be viewed as unprofessional? No, if you are someone that really loves writing satirically and you view yourself as very funny, you are welcome to. It is, again, your voice. And if you think about your personality, it's likely that we're getting some of those personal qualities elsewhere in your application that you're not writing. So your teachers that know you really well, who are writing your letters of recommendation, chances are if you're funny outside of school, you might be a little funny in the classroom and your teachers might know a bit about your personality. Same with your school counselor if you're close with them. So it won't come across as unprofessional. I would make sure that your entire essay isn't a full joke, but you're welcome to explore your humor through your essay. And again, it's good to get feedback. You just don't want to overly edit your essay based on multiple folks and multiple different feedback that's coming in. Wonderful. So here is another question. Let's see here. So someone asked about the famous why us question, which we spoke a little bit about. I would really dive into the websites and get to know students at college campuses. While it's wonderful to connect with admissions and talk to counselors and read about faculty, I would really encourage everyone to get to know students. So reach out to admissions offices, contact Brandeis and say, I would love to touch base with a student in this club. And then get to know them so you can reference the folks that you've made connections with. We want this to be a human process. And so often it can feel like, oh my gosh, it's incredibly stress inducing. We want this to, again, bring it down to earth, relieve some of that stress, and help you feel like you're, again, connected. And this is a place you could spend 4 years and then come back and visit at alumni and family weekend, and be excited to come back to campus. Another question we received here is there a point of view for the essay to be written in? There is no preferred point of view. So I would think about your writing style and how you like to write essays. If you're someone that likes to write in the third person versus the first, you're someone that does a lot of, maybe you write, I don't know, poetry, or you write short stories, it may be more comfortable to you to write in a different tense, and that's absolutely fine with us to change that point of view. I would say it might get a bit confusing if you're going consistently back and forth between two different points of view, so stick to one or two, make it clear to us when you're shifting, but otherwise you're welcome to explore your creativity through the college essay. Next question we have is, do you have any tips for developing a distinctive voice? This person has gotten feedback that they haven't let their voice shine through. And I think it's just that I don't have a very unique writing style. When it comes to developing your distinctive voice, I think a good thing to try perhaps is recording yourself talking out your essay. So it's a tip I have for anyone, whether it be public speaking or writing an essay or thinking about writing an email, is actually talk into your phone and you make a voice memo, put it into your notes, and then read it back. That's going to help you see where your natural flow is. What you say out loud is very different from when you're sitting on your computer with a blank page in front of you. It's really hard to think about where to start. So I would encourage, you do have a unique voice, you do. I'd encourage you to take out your phone and listen to yourself back and record yourself talking, and you'll find where your voice is. It's a great question. Thank you for asking. Next question we have is, how would you start brainstorming for essay topics? So earlier this week, we spoke a bit about extracurricular activities. So within your extracurriculars, there are probably things that you're passionate about, and you're able to explain those briefly. So if you're a student that maybe has a lot of extracurriculars, or there's one thing that you were involved in that you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I only have a small piece, 2 sentences to describe this incredible thing I'm so proud of that I did to colleges and universities, that might be something you elaborate more on in your essay. With that being said, there are also some interesting topics elsewhere. I would start a list and write down things you like. Things you like to do, things you like to read, things you like to listen to, what you like about your school, and just start making that list. I have read some really interesting essays in my 10+ years, whether that be about an avocado and how the student feels like they are an avocado in human form, to essays about working on a political debate and what that experience was like, something that I had known from their extracurriculars, but the student took the time to really elaborate what that experience meant to them. That's a great question. Thank you. We have another question. What are some essay topics that you've seen too much? What is an essay that stood out to me? Oh my goodness, so many. The avocado one is a classic. I really have enjoyed that one. I would say there are many topics that we receive, and we do have essays about multiple times, but every essay is still different. And I think that's the important thing to stress. So we receive essays about a student's experience working at a camp or working a part-time job, and it is still okay to write about those things because your experience at camp in Massachusetts is very different from a student's experience at a summer camp in Colorado or California. They're all so dramatically different. And you're not writing about the camp itself, like I attended camp so-and-so for this many weeks, and this is the structure of the camp. You're talking about what it was like to go there or an experience you had. So don't worry too much about those common topics. Think more about what you want us to know about you inside of that greater topic. Wonderful. Another question we had, does writing about my major influence on a college decision, or should it be solely about myself? This is a great question. It is going to be sometimes college and university dependent. So at Brandeis, for example, you are welcome to talk about what you're excited to study. Some students know at 16, 17, 18 that they are destined for biology, they are destined for creative writing, and you feel really confident and comfortable just going for that in your essay and elaborating on it. But other students might not know, and that's absolutely fine. It is not going to hurt you in any way to talk about a topic that you're excited about. So I would say if writing about psychology and your passion for it and how you have studied Maslow and you have done your research outside of what you've learned in your advanced placement psychology class is what you want to focus on, that's showing us a passion and something that has been self-directed. So you're welcome to do that, but know that it's not going to help or hurt in any specific way. You can ask each individual college that you are excited about. Wonderful. Next question I got is, what is the best time to start writing a college essay? That's a wonderful question. I encourage everyone to start thinking about the college essay at the end of their junior year. Now, the reason I say end of your junior year is because you then have the summer to fine tune, make additional drafts, think about it before application season rolls around for students that are looking to apply for fall entry, right? You'll be applying sometime typically between August 1st and sometime in late December, early January. And with writing your college essay comes all of the supplements. And again, some schools might have 3, 4 supplements for you to submit. So if you save writing your college essay until the very start of your senior year, not only do you have the one main essay to think about, but also all of the additional supplemental essays to write. So I think it's nice to space out your time. And I would say end of junior year is a good time to start thinking, brainstorming, writing out, again, that list of what you like, what you've done, what do you want us to learn? What are your personal values that you want us to, do you want to come across in that essay? Next question. Oh, I apologize. I think I missed this one earlier. What makes an essay stand out to admissions officers? I would say, I think we've talked about this a little bit. It's not that we're looking for students to stand out. It's that we're looking for students to tell us who they are, which perhaps is even a more challenging question to answer. So again, what are your personal values? How do you consider yourself as a friend? What are you passionate about? What are you interested in? Those are the things we want to learn. So some of the essays that are more memorable, I wouldn't say they stand out, but they're more memorable to us, can be the ones that like take us a bit by surprise, but that doesn't mean that one student is more admissible than another, right? So an essay I had about stickers on a water bottle, right? The prospective student just had I don't know, whatever fancy water cup they had with thousands of tons of stickers on it. And I'm guessing one day she looked down and said, oh my gosh, all of those stickers represent different times of my life, different things that I like, different things that I'm engaged with. And she spoke about the stickers on her water bottle. And while the stickers part, of course, is memorable, I learned so much more about her and her interests and passions from each of those stickers that she was describing. So again, the commonplace, look around your room. Do you have a poster of someone? Like there are a lot of different topics you can explore, which does make it really challenging. And we recognize that. So start making that list early, and hopefully it helps you through the process. Wonderful. So next question, a lot of colleges have a community question asking you to write about your community back home and how it will impact your contributions to the community on campus. What are your tips for talking about our community? So I just want to read it one more time. Yes. So in talking about your community at home, I think it's important to note that students come from very different life experiences. So you might have gone to a high school that you really enjoyed. You might have gone to a high school that you felt could use a lot of improvement in different areas. Your community extends outside of your high school as well. Think about the town that you live in. Think about when you go to the Dunkin' Donuts or the Starbucks or the library, like all of those places that you interact with within a 10-mile radius of your home is part of your community. So think about the things that you really like about where you are. Think about the things that you want in a community that maybe is lacking or that you found connection with. So for Brandeis, for example, maybe you go to a really small high school and you're looking for a larger campus environment that's really collaborative and feels close-knit. We have 3,600 undergraduate students, and you went to a high school with a graduating class of 20. Your community was really small and very tight-knit, but felt restrictive in ways, perhaps, to you. So you can think about that community and what you learned and how you benefited from it, and then the community you're hoping to grow and foster on our campus with your help, of course. Next question, is it okay to have contradictions in your essay, or is it too informal? If we do include them, should they be consistent throughout the essay or more varied? I have seen this done a variety of ways, and I think the only way to know if contradictions sound too informal is to read it yourself. So unfortunately, I don't have a clear-cut answer for this one. If you go back and forth and have those contradictions, you're going to catch when you read it out loud if you're confusing yourself or you're kind of missing things in different places. So I would, again, just encourage you to read it out loud. I think that's going to be your biggest tip for finding where you might contradict yourself in your essay. And if it sounds okay to you, right? If you're getting to that point in your story, it might be a way that you write creatively. So we have a couple of essays about writing about different topics. So I'm seeing a couple here about writing about a disability, writing about negative body image or body image issues, etc. Would it be looked down on? Are they overused? You are welcome to share whatever part of yourself you want to. If you have overcome something, you are welcome to share that with us, but know that you don't have to do that if you're not comfortable. They are not overused by any means. It's a part of your story. It's a chapter in your book. Perhaps you, overcame body image issues and you're really proud of where you are and you have, I don't know, like really love CrossFit. I had an essay like that a couple years ago. We're learning how you have persevered through a challenge and what you learned from it and where you sought support. Perhaps that'll show us, that you advocate for yourself, that you saw something in yourself that you wanted to change and to find support with, and you were able to do that. So again, you're teaching us those skills. So know that you're welcome to write about whatever you would like. It's not looked down upon. We, of course, want to ensure that you're safe and doing well throughout this process. So if sharing something with us is a breath of fresh air, it's important to you, and for us to know what you've learned, you're welcome to write about those topics. I think we've got time for one more question. So tips for coming up with a college essay that is tailored to a specific school. Can you reuse essays? I encourage you not to reuse essays. So I believe this is likely coming from a supplemental standpoint. So the college essay as a whole is built within the application of the Common Application or Coalition application, with the exception of a couple of colleges and universities that have homegrown application sources, so like on their website directly. But for those two primary application websites, the essay prompts are there and you're submitting the same college essay to all the schools you're applying to. For the supplemental essays, I would definitely encourage you to, again, really personalize those to each school. And that's where, yes, the website and doing research shows us that you've looked into us. My biggest tip, really get to know the students, reach out, ask, can I speak to a student in such and such an area? They will have incredible insight, and it's someone to stay in touch with. Our current students at Brandeis, they want students to attend that are excited about coming to Brandeis, that are excited to join tons and clubs and have multiple majors and minors and be on the pre-health track and play quad ball. Like, they're excited that you might join us. So getting to know them is something you can think about as you're going through those school-specific supplemental essays. That is all the time we have for tonight, just being mindful of where we're at 8:01 p.m. Eastern time over here. I hope this was helpful for you as you're going through a process that, again, can be challenging and scary and stressful. We are here to help. So if your question wasn't answered, you'd like to connect with Brandeis Admissions, please don't hesitate to do so. You could always email us, give us a call. We are open. If you come to campus, please reach out. My face is on our website with my email address. I would love to see you on our campus in the future. And stay tuned for more how-tos in the future as well. We have a how-to financial aid webinar coming in early October. That will be announced soon. We also have a couple of how-tos next year for any juniors or sophomores watching. Things like how to build your college list and how to make the most of your campus visit. So we are really excited to continue to share these tips and tricks of the trade with you. Until next time, thank you again so much for joining. I hope this was helpful in your search, and best of luck.